Good to go.
Danielle, are you with us?
She must be
I
someone.
sent her, she said she was going to be. Okay. Should we wait another minute or two? What time is it? 6:11.
Oh, she's,
Okay, I'll record it by voice then, I guess.
No, I
well, she's
didn't-
recording it in.
Yeah.
Oh,
she's
she is,
recording.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, yeah, true. All right, let's call this meeting to order at 6:15. First topic on the agenda is approval of minutes. And I had emailed everybody, let's see, I had emailed everybody the 2023 minutes of which I had, which include July of 2023, May of 2023. Yeah, January of 2023. Now, reflecting back on 2023, September, we didn't have a meeting, December, we didn't have a meeting. But there are several other months here missing.
So I've got January,
2023.
yeah, 2023, so I've got January
Okay, so I didn't have that
23.
one printed up. Okay, yes, I emailed that one, okay.
Yeah, so you have January.
Yep,
April,
yep,
May, July, August
okay,
is what I have.
okay. I have November and October were missing, and September, which there was no meeting,
Okay,
and December, no meeting. So those are the 2 months.
Luke texted that he has questions on the minutes.
Okay.
Luke, can you hear us?
Yes.
Okay.
Before I cannot vote on whether the minutes are approved or not, since I'm
Right.
ex officio.
Right.
However, I did notice that while April has me in as present, the other minutes do not. And now I did miss a couple meetings last year, but I specifically remember all these meetings, so I know I was in all of them. So if you could,
Okay,
if you could approve them subject to adding me in, that would be good.
okay.
All right.
So you were in all the others, but you weren't in April. Got it.
No, I was in April, and that
It
one
was-
has me, but.
Okay. Oh, I see. Okay. So you
So-
weren't, that's really strange.
Adds
Okay.
his name to everyone.
Yeah,
I had a couple comments. My
Okay.
name is misspelled on all of them. It's one N.
okay,
And on the August 24th,
okay,
and it says tables are being supplied by, on the Lockwood, it wasn't really, for the meet and greet,
right.
I did the soda, the seltzer, and I gifted $100, but it wasn't the table. I think you did the tables.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I mean, it's not truly relevant to our
Okay.
discussions,
But
just
it's
for the
just
record.
for
I
the
read
record,
it.
Understood. Okay,
And everything else, it seems
okay,
okay.
all right.
Sorry, I would also just ask, just when you put me in, then note, specifically put in that I'm ex officio, so that it's clear that I don't count.
Oh, yeah, yeah, and that should actually be written in there too.
Okay,
So, okay, thank you, Lou.
yep.
Okay, are we go on doing our minutes now?
No. What I think we'll need to do is take this recording and make it available to Danielle. She was going to be
She
on.
might be the one on
Do you
there.
see her on there
Oh, there
now?
was a third person there.
It did say Town of Lunenburg, I thought.
Oh, so there must have been Heidi.
Okay.
She's the coordinator.
There's only 2 participants.
Okay.
Okay,
She can see the recording. That's how they do our parts.
right, okay, yeah, that's right, she was on before too. Okay, so what about 2022? Did anybody review those? Did I email those?
I don't think you know those.
no,
You
Okay.
only had-
yeah,
Okay, so, well, first, let's take a vote on all of these with those adjustments. Do we otherwise approve the meeting minutes?
Yeah, do you wanna call them out individually or just,
yes, why don't we?
what was
Okay.
the date for the January one?
January 26th.
Yeah,
So do you wanna make a motion, Jean? or-
Sure, I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes as amended for January 26th.
Do you wanna do it for them all?
2003. Do you want to do the full
We can do
series?
Yeah.
that.
Okay,
it probably makes the most sense.
okay, so January 26th, now I have to go back through.
I can
Then
Read them out in
April-
sequence,
April
April 20,
27th,
yeah,
May
May
18th.
18th,
yeah,
July 27th. And August, was that?
24.
last one, yeah,
Yeah,
And I'll second that,
okay.
and
Okay. That's for 2023.
so was November's not recorded or something?
November and October, I was trying to recall, we didn't have a meeting in
should we do the
September.
vote, so we don't forget?
Yeah,
Yes, let's, okay,
Sorry.
roll call vote.
I,
Aye.
Aye.
Okay,
so
There we go.
okay, so that takes care of 2023. All right, 2022.
I don't think you sent those.
Oh, right, okay. All right, why don't we defer that then till the next meeting?
Okay, I think that's smart since I haven't seen it.
Yeah. It'll give everybody time for review.
You know, are you gonna have public comments at the end or board comments?
Yes,
Yeah,
I
okay, I'll
think-
wait for it.
Yeah,
Let's follow the agenda.
okay,
I don't like when people jump around my.
okay,
agenda, so I
no, next up
apologize.
is public comment,
Oh,
so. Public
um,
comment,
there we go. Well, I was reviewing the minutes.
Yeah.
And then I was at the Parks meeting yesterday when we reorged.
yeah,
And then when do we get reorged and when do we get reappointed?
yeah,
Because
yeah,
I
Good
don't
point.
remember that we did that last year.
never, yeah.
Okay,
And that's a good point, because I didn't even realize there was a master charge that indicates terms,
right.
which.
With me,
Yeah,
I don't think it would apply as much because I'm unappointed, like every year when we have the open space,
right,
we have our reorg
right,
and we say who's going to be the designated
right.
person
but-
for this.
Yeah,
And last year they redesignated me.
right,
But then, because I was looking at the minutes, I was like, oh, when we reorg.
I know.
What is the
We're overdue.
terms and reappointment?
right. It was in, I think Josie sent it out, there was like a master charge form, and it indicated it was 1-year term and 3-year terms. It was kind of weird how it was, and I didn't write it down, I can pull it up, actually, I did have it open earlier.
I don't think I got that one.
Okay, so what I'll do is,
It makes sense, you wouldn't be able to send it to 3 people.
right, what I'll do is email that with the 2022 minutes. And we can do that at next meeting, because then Josie will be here too, and
Yeah.
we can do the whole rework thing,
Okay,
so.
but does anyone need to get reappointed by the planning board?
That's a
It's-
good question, I'm not sure. Would you happen to know that, Lou? Okay, Les.
Repeat that question?
We're just talking about on the reorg, if we
Yeah.
have to go through a reappointment by the planning board in order to start a new term.
Yes, if any of the terms are up, I mean, to the
Okay,
extent, to the extent that terms are up, they have to be, you know,
okay,
Is anyone's
people would have to
term-
stand for reappointment.
yeah. That's.
So you gotta have all the appointments and reappointments first, and then now you've got the
Okay.
composition of the board. Then you do the reorg when you've got everybody new on there, you know, or renewed, new or renewed.
Okay. Okay, so we're best to do it in May when we have a full board. I think it was a 1-year term, like I said, and then 3-year term for, and I just can't recall, hold on, let me see if I can pull it up, because she had sent it out. And I was surprised, because I hadn't seen the charge either on there about the objectives for the committee. I'm like, that was the first time I had seen that. Okay. That's kind of an email. Well, in any event, I will find it and I'll send it to everybody
Okay.
for 2022, okay? But thanks for bringing that up, Anna, too.
Yeah, it was just that
No.
like so fresh in my mind because
Yeah.
we're doing the
Yeah,
reward from parks and I was looking
Right.
at the minutes, so. And
Yeah.
then I started thinking of
it's good you guys
appointment
are on
and
top of it.
I just couldn't help.
Yeah.
We're full, right? All seats are taken.
Yeah, and to that point, I had mentioned, I had emailed Michael, Ray and Heather, just thinking, could we add 2 more members if ever, you know what I mean? One of us was out, 2 of us were out, which has been the case. But Anna, I wasn't even thinking, is a member. She's a voting member. She's not next.
Do we have
this
any
year.
alternates or all full
So-
members?
We don't have alternates, so maybe that's a possibility too.
I believe they step in if a member
Okay.
is not present, correct?
Right,
Right. It has to be part of the designation, the charter of the board, so
Okay.
that can be modified. I mean, not
Okay.
at this town meeting, but.
okay, all right. So maybe that's something that we need to discuss with planning.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay, all right, find that out too then, okay. All right, so where are we now? Any other public comment? No?
Yeah.
are you gonna bring up, go ahead, Lou.
Yeah, I just wanted to make everybody aware, you're probably conscious of it, but I'm bringing it directly to your consciousness. This will be my last meeting.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Because by the time you have another meeting, I'll be off the select board, so.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, it's been fun.
Oh.
You could be an alternate.
You'll still be involved, who are you kidding? You're like Dave Patsy.
You could replace me.
I don't know where I'm gonna, I don't know where I'm gonna pop up again. I'm probably gonna pop up somewhere, but if I pop up somewhere, it's probably gonna be a council on aging. All right,
Well, thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Lou,
you.
appreciate it.
yep.
Okay, so, where are we at? Any other public comment?
Oh, are we gonna discuss the zoning thing? Because I have a lot of thoughts about it, and I don't
Yes.
think you guys recall, I had a
Thank
long
you,
argument with Adam about that
Yes,
particular
yes.
issue.
yeah.
Do we recall that? Because I recall.
Yes, I do, and.
Because this is the exactly same thing, Adam and
Thank
I were arguing upstairs,
I remember,
and he has all his reasons for putting things in a box just the way he likes it. But
But-
the bottom line is the following,
right,
and I've been saying this for a long time.
yep,
Any space that is the same space,
right,
there will be a magic number of square footage, because small business work in very, like, you're probably
Right.
what, 400 square feet in your place? See,
yeah,
anything under 1,500 square feet, they will
Right.
have very similar operations, very similar
Right.
foot traffic. That, I mean, maybe you can make a case with the Dunkin' Donuts type of thing, but even on that case,
but if
the
there's
in
no
and out.
alterations, right,
So like Dunkin' Donuts, in Wayland, our business right next to a Dunkin' Donuts, it's
Right.
tiny. But people are not sitting there.
Right.
So they also, based on their square footage, do not
Right.
require a lot of space for parking.
right,
So there's nothing that,
Mhm.
why we shouldn't have these retail space, commercial space
Right.
that are of a certain amount of space.
Right.
It's pretty much everything by right.
right,
There's really should not be any barrier for it.
thank you.
And I've been saying
Well-
that for a long time.
No, and I did remember that conversation, Anna, and that's the thing, we wanna attract more business here. That is the biggest issue. This gentleman went into the post office, he said something to Lois, then he also said something to someone else, and I'm like, are you kidding me? I mean, it sounds like
I mean-
major obstacles, he's saying, they
Brian-
want me to come up with an architectural plan.
Right.
And
Well, Brian is right.
He's just
He's
trying to
following-
follow the regulation, right,
He's right, but it doesn't mean that the bylaws
is
right.
right,
And it
Correct.
should be much simpler. A lot of these
Right.
commercials, like it's limited. Even if you were
So-
to have, like, if you go to Orchard Hills,
Right,
they have an embroidery shop there.
Yeah.
right,
Again, is this
Embroidery,
face of,
Pilates,
Right.
I go to the chiropractor there.
right,
Right,
exactly.
the
Yeah,
workshop
it's multiple.
is this small.
Right.
Like, what they need is
Right.
going to be, if they need machines in the lab, and they're gonna need more electricity,
Right,
there would be a building inspector for that.
right,
And whatever modification they will need, there are other things other than the right to go in and operate.
yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, I agree. I agree. That's the thing, you know, this guy just wants to open a small antique store. There are no changes. He's just gonna bring in a desk. Do you know what I mean? He's
Right.
not altering the structure. He
Right.
doesn't own the building. And to your point, you know, with parking, that was looked at when that property was rehabbed. So, you know, it was designed as such for the units that were gonna be there.
So
So it
the
shouldn't
thing
be a
about it
requisite.
is, you're talking with the planning board about reappointing the group.
Yep,
This is a planning board issue.
right, okay,
It is an exclusive planning board.
okay,
And it's a little bit like, you get the people in the historical commission that loves history and
Yeah.
preserving everything, and they losing sight about certain things.
yep,
And you get people in the planning board that love to
yeah,
plan and zone things. That's all
Right.
they know how to do it.
right.
And if there's, I'm sorry, it's
No.
not that, I mean, if Matt was here,
You're-
I'd be saying
I
the
know
same
that,
thing.
I wish he was here. Yeah.
Maybe he can watch it and then, not like me, but. It's just like,
No.
I have had small business in different towns around Massachusetts. And I've never seen anything as complicated as Bloomberg.
And that's why we have to break that down and make
Like
it
Pepco,
get adjusted
I
or
literally
eliminated.
rented a 20,000 square feet warehouse and
Yeah.
office. I barely got a DBA
Yeah,
because we're incorporated, and the landlord already had a certificate of occupancy. and that's
did he
all we
really?
needed.
Yeah,
That's all
Yeah.
we needed, and it's Eric Shapiro, which I
right,
don't know if people
Yeah.
know him, but,
yeah.
okay, I should.
No, that's, well, that's the thing, it's so relevant to why we exist, you know what I mean? We have these empty spaces, we need to fill them, and we don't want these barriers, especially ones that are gonna go around blabbing, saying, can you believe they asked me for an architectural plan? I just wanna open an antique store.
Right.
So we need to be able to make that easier, so thank you for that, and that's another planning board.
That is a
issue.
planning board.
Okay, all right,
And the most simplest way to resolve this would be to have by right,
yep,
anything under 15, like they actually have a table of required parking.
okay,
And if you go through the table, the most ironic thing is if you go through the table.
yep,
For any space, I believe I did the math that time, under 1,500 square feet, they're all off like by 0.2 of a parking spot.
Yeah.
It's less than 2
all
parking
based
spots.
on the square feet.
Because it's all based on the square feet,
Yes.
it all boils down to the same thing.
Yeah,
Even like light manufacturing, like literally have an embroidery
Right.
shop there. That's technically
Right.
considered light manufacturing.
right,
What are we gonna make them do?
I know.
I
Yeah.
can't stop it. I really don't
No,
stop.
that's a really good point. Okay,
And I think my husband's part of the fault for that, so just,
okay,
when he was on the planning board.
yeah, yeah, okay,
Throw him right under the bus.
And he knows that.
yeah. Okay. Okay, all right, so, thank you. Yeah, I was like, should I send this giant string of emails? And I'm like, I thought of you. And I thought, you know what, this is what we're trying to do, is to track more.
Can I make a recommendation?
Sure,
I would make a recommendation that you
Yeah.
request a meeting with the planning board
yep,
and us as a
Yeah.
board, we can have a joint meeting.
joint meeting,
And you forward them that email,
okay,
and you ask for a meeting, a joint meeting.
Yeah.
Where we can discuss that email and that
Okay.
request, and how can we overcome that?
That's a great
Okay.
idea.
that's a great idea, thank you.
And then you guys cannot let me be the only one screaming, okay?
Okay. All right, anything else? Yeah. Future discussion, one thing I wanted to talk about, I did write out the members, AgCom, open space, yeah, okay, yeah, 2-year terms for 3 residents and a 1-year term, going back to our conversation about the terms, so, yeah, so we are all expired. But, future conversation about signage.
Hmm,
Signage is a lovely thing.
Yeah.
We got that freestanding sign back years ago for the village. And, but I think signage in general, back years ago, there was an issue with, having a big lit up sign.
Yep.
Which is understandable to a certain extent, but we want to help promote business. And so, I think that we need to revisit maybe the sign bylaw and take a look at that.
So that was also my husband, so. just
I
beyond that.
know, I talked to him
So
about
I
when I
think-
was working on
Yeah, so I think
that freestanding sign.
we have to be careful. I mean, first of all, this would be a planning board request.
Yep,
We have to be careful about what we're trying to do. So before just saying this is what we want to do, because
yep,
the village district,
Right.
so I'm gonna
It's a
speak as a
separate-
resident. So I bought a house that was in
Right.
a residential zone.
right,
Then the planning board had this brilliant idea to open up for just about any kind of business. So that is a devalue that is, so anywhere within the APD,
right,
you can open a business as by right.
right.
And if there's new construction, there is requirements to make a commercial. So there's a lot into that bylaw
Right,
that was put together as a way to expand the uses in town center, because it was
Mhm.
recognition that Lunenburg has always had a very commercial downtown and very
Mhm.
civic minded, like town, all the government, offices are usually here. But it was built in a way with some safeguards for the residents that are in place, because most of it is residents. So we gotta be careful about what we're asking
right.
versus not, because, you
Well,
see
and that's a
this.
separate piece from, say, another area of town too.
Right, well, but they do also have commercial design standards for other areas. So if you're gonna put a sign out, you need to be in a commercial, industrial, or the village district. Those are the only 3 areas that are defined.
Hmm.
And I was driving yesterday coming home, and I drove just by the, Shop and Save. They have the new auto parts.
Oh,
They have
yeah,
a sign there,
there.
it's really, but ugly, sorry for.
Yeah,
And we wouldn't want that in town center.
right,
So I think before I think what I usually like is like, look at it around a development, an area that when you think if it has the historical piece to it, that is,
right,
one that has a lot of residential integrated, because that is for the entire district.
yeah,
And even where it's commercial, we have very few commercial zones,
I know.
look at that and find good places that you
Mhm.
like. Then let's look at their bylaws and see how does that match with Bloomberg. So, for example, I know when they did the APDC
Yeah.
protections, I know they did a lot of investigation they researched a lot of different bylaws, and they created one that was fit Bloomberg. So the APDC, it's not a historical preservation,
Mhm.
it's an architectural preservation. And it's very important nuance there. So you gotta be careful, like
Be
all these-
mindful of all these
It's
different
all-
parts.
Yeah, so it's like the
So-
APD in particular there's this little commercial zone here, but.
Right,
It goes all the way into David Rogers' house.
does it go that
Yeah.
far?
It does.
Okay, okay,
And, it goes all the way
Hmm.
down Lancaster. So you gotta think that everything you're saying you wanna hear,
right,
you're saying yes to down there.
right,
And imagine how the neighbors are going to be feeling
right,
if that
right,
happens. So it's if we wanna address the sign bylaws and
Yep.
look, we travel around, look at towns that we like and we see there's a good
Right.
balance and what we're allowing on that area.
right, okay. All right, good point. Yeah, I think the lit up signs was an issue from what I recall back a few years ago. And as such, like the convenience store removed their lit up
Flashing
sign.
open.
But then you end up with like, you know, these tacky other kind of lights on signs. And you think, is that really better than what a lit up professional sign would be? So I
I
think,
mean, even,
I understand the happy balance and you know what I mean, and certainly wanting to keep a butters happy, but at the same time, you know, like Bad Larry's doesn't have a lit up sign and they had something hanging and it just, you know. And the convenience store too.
I think it needs to be carefully
Yeah,
thought out and be, there's 361 towns in Massachusetts.
right,
A lot of them have historical
right,
and zoning, it's finding one that we like and
or
start from that.
similar, yeah,
Start from that first.
right,
Starting, I don't think the right starting point is what Bad Larry wants to do.
right.
It's not.
No, I mean, that's just two examples of, you know what I mean, of what the outcome of changing the signage bylaw was back then. I can't even remember the year. I think,
2015.
okay. Okay, you remember. Okay. But-
It's, yeah, it's,
You know,
I mean, I do, I own a business, I find that I understand that signage is important,
yep,
but you cannot tell me that a business is successful or not because they don't have a big
right,
sign. She
This is
doesn't
very
have a big
true.
sign
right,
light up.
right,
And I see her working,
yeah,
I don't think that's a valid argument to
right.
be made.
No, and it really is dependent on the type of business too, like a restaurant versus in a convenience
Yeah.
store versus someone who's, you know, like real estate, you know what I mean? Or versus anything else, you know, clerical, administrative, anything like that. It's all in their interface with the public and what they're trying to do with their space. So, but, you know, just knowing the challenges that like those two have had, just as a point out, you know what I mean, and particularly the convenience store, I think. And you know, then they go with alternate things that just don't look good. So it just makes it more of a challenge, but, I'll print up the sign bylaw, and just bring it next
Yeah.
time, so we can all at least look at it.
And if you have
So-
And pay attention to when we're traveling.
Yeah,
I think it's,
Yeah.
you know, things that you,
yeah,
I think more than anything is find the ones that we like.
right. Right, yeah, other
I mean,
towns,
Groton has very strict bylaws for signage.
right.
Salton, what is the name of that cafe there? It's
Called
delicious.
Salt and Light, yeah, yeah,
I know,
super cute place,
it's great.
Yeah.
I
yeah,
mean, I visited Dulce Del Mar, oh my God.
yeah,
And they have much stricter
yeah,
signage bylaw than we do.
yeah, huh, okay. I know somebody brought, I'm gonna ask about it,
You
so,
can just look it up.
yeah.
Filius,
Philos, yeah, that's true. Well, you know, and I think it's just, it's the lighting of it too, do you know what I mean? I think the thing that bugs me about Badler is like, he's got that flag hanging down and, you know, it's just the front structure of the building too. But we have the Elena's space that hopefully will get rented at some point. And, so that would play a role for them as well, so. Just one more thing to consider. Okay, any other public comment? Nothing? All right, oh, cable access. Did Dan Minotaur catch up with you?
Yes, yeah,
Excellent, did he do a clip?
no, not yet. He,
Okay.
wanted to meet last week, but I was in Florida, so
Okay.
then we're gonna touch base with them Monday and we're gonna.
Okay,
what is this about?
they're doing a show called Open for Business. Cause I had said, you know, could something be done to promote business? So Joe had agreed and they came up with a name of Open for Business and they're gonna go around and film some of the local businesses, some of the available spaces, they filmed the Elena space. And Mary Ray was next on the list, so.
Nice.
Yeah, I think it'd be great, especially with the cable, you know what I mean? At least it gives a little promo, someone might see it. And pass it on to others, or, you know, if they haven't been in the
Right.
store before.
Yep.
You know, cause I told someone you have meat there, and they're like, what?
All the
That's like,
time.
"Oh."
All the time.
Yeah. So. Okay, so he said what, next week, Mary Ray?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, good. What else? I think that's really it, the crosswalk. Oh, going back to traffic and the issues up here in the town center and cars shooting through. Michael Ray had suggested, had talked about a, speed bump right where the convenience store is. So that was just, you know, brought up. I don't know, Lou, if you've heard anything about that, or Michael Ray said anything?
Oh, you have someone there.
I have not,
Oh,
but
good, Danielle.
heard
Oh,
anything
yeah,
about.
she's in.
Okay, all right.
Speeding up from on the side of the town hall.
Yeah.
It just happened to me last night. I was backing up, I stopped, it was like 9 o'clock, I stopped at the convenience center and I was backing up and
Yeah,
right up. I was
yeah,
like, oh, wow.
yeah. I think it's a great idea to put a speed bump
Isn't
in
it supposed to
there.
be one way anyway, down this way?
Yeah. And you know, I remember back when,
In between town hall and the.
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah,
Isn't
yeah,
it a one way? I
it's,
thought?
it was
But it's-
before.
I think that's private. That's like the little
the part
driveway.
that's the village and then the other part that's the town, yeah.
They do have a one-way sign, but it's a private
Right,
posted, so.
Yeah.
no one pays attention enough, that's the problem too. But yeah, I mean, my car got hit right there. Well, that was, my car was parked there and someone, and I was in my office and someone came and hit the side of my car, backed out, then went down and parked down by the bank, and she was going in to get her hair done at Salon Bliss. And the hairdresser saw her and brought her into my place and was like, she just hit your car. So, yeah. So I really hope that, that we can do something about that. Another thing I was thinking about is a parking survey, and I don't know if it would be feasible and if it would be something that would get some attention, but I thought maybe developing a QR code, putting a survey on cars that are like up in the center of town and not just at the village, but in front of town hall, you know, by the Boys and Girls Club, you know what I mean? If it was an online survey where they just did a QR code and could just answer it really quick. Just to ask them, you know, are you going into town hall? Are you going to the convenience store? That sort of thing. Do you feel parking is inconvenient? Because people are just kind of parking all over the place, you know, and just to get a better feel for parking in general. But, I mean, we have just such a problem, like I said, at the village. And,
Like the parking in the back is always full?
parking in the back isn't always full, but, you know, once Elena's gets rented and parking during the day now, because Bad Larry's has started opening at noon.
Yeah.
So that parking lot in the front is like forever parked.
But even
you know,
when they're
forever.
busy, the parking lot fills up and if you
Yeah.
wanted to go to a Pilates class at night or
Right.
you were trying to get to the convenience store, most of the times it's full and you can't
Most of
park.
the times it is, yeah. So just makes it tougher, so.
Well, I think putting maybe signs up front that more parking is available in the
In the
back.
back, yeah, the R Cities did put up a sign that says parking in rear, but, I mean. Yeah, Dillis and Roy has some vehicles back there too, so, I mean, it's, the village is full, but. You know, trying to attract, we did have someone look at the Elena's space, and one of the reasons they wouldn't take it was because of parking.
What type
So,
of business were they?
antiques,
Oh.
not the same antique person. But, you know, they just said, the parking is just not gonna work for us, so.
Hmm.
It's like, we need to come up with some solutions, and I think that's just in, you know, how it is in town center. You know, but, you really kind of need a business in there where people can just pull in, going quickly and come out. And that's a tough thing. I, there's gotta be coffee involved. But, yeah, so So I just thought, what if we did a parking survey and came up with a QR code? So
What would be, I mean, we know we have a problem with parking, I think.
Right.
everybody-
what would be
what
the
the use-
reasoning?
What would be the use of the results? Are we
Yeah, is
gonna-
there gonna be any solution?
Is there gonna
Right.
be, yeah, I mean, to me, the only solution is trying to modify that space across the street.
What do you mean?
What the island is, where you could have some possible parking, but now, because Mass DOT will not come in and do a crosswalk right there. I mean, people sometimes will park over there at night anyways. And you can see when you drive by, there'll be like a few cars, or I think sometimes people at the Ritter will park right there. But if there was stripes, you could fit a lot more cars, you know what I mean? But it's a visual as you're coming up the road too. If there was a crosswalk and, you know what I mean, it pulled your eye across the street, you're like, oh, I can just pull in right there.
Maybe
So-
just putting, like,
Extra
stripes
parking,
and just putting public
Sign.
parking,
yeah,
make it, if you say public parking, people are gonna go there.
yeah,
Because, I mean, Lunenburg Town Center is an old town center,
right,
right? And, I mean, I don't think just about, I do think about other places that we
Yeah.
go, like when you go down the Cape and the old towns,
oh, yeah,
Yeah,
the
well-
villages,
blocks to get,
yeah,
to park and to get to the town center,
right,
right? Like P-Town, I mean, like you don't park anywhere near.
right,
Mm,
And so it's, I think is doing a better job with what we have. I don't know if there's a lot of structurally that we can do. One of the reasons I was against the 30 School Street Park
Yeah.
back here was because we simply don't have parking.
mm,
And we're gonna do the annex of the Ritter. And we're gonna put more employees here. Like, we need a lot of parking, like,
mhm.
we're gonna have Marshall Park. It's just like, we just gotta be using the structure, the things that we have.
Right. Well, yeah, I mean, parking is tough and it's getting tougher. But I guess from a realtor perspective, just trying to rent that space, when I heard that, I'm like, yes, we have, an issue here. So, okay, so. Any other comments?
Public comment or no?
Public comment? Anything? Nothing? Next meeting is, I think it was May 23rd. Are you sure? May 23rd, which is that Memorial Day weekend, that's why
Yes.
it is.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do we want
Which
to?
I'm fine with, but I believe, no, fourth Thursday.
Okay,
No, I'm around, so,
okay,
but I guess we should probably make sure that if we're gonna
Right.
read, we should all be here and make sure that other
Right.
members.
I can be
Unless
here,
we
I
do
know I'm
that, so-
gonna be here,
okay.
So-
There might be a slight chance I might be in Florida. So, but I can
I
zoom
can-
in,
Mhm.
you
I
know,
can do the 30th, or I just can't do the third Thursday.
okay. Okay, why don't we keep it, because it seems to be an issue too with like Heidi and that Zoom link and then meeting room availability to adjust it, so,
So leave it at the 23rd.
yeah. Yep. Does anybody know, are we any closer with getting a new land use director? I know we have the interim person. Has anybody heard anything?
no, I haven't been
Okay,
keeping, oh, no, my God.
have you heard, Lou?
Give me that question again?
New land use director, have you heard? Are we any closer? Is
I
there
have-
anything?
I have not,
Yeah.
no, I know of no buzz on that, so I'm gonna say no. I don't think so.
Okay. Okay.
next meeting, we should, pin down possible dates too for the meet and greet.
Okay, yeah, or
We're
talk
still
about
happy,
that.
yeah, we're still happy to host and all
Okay.
that, but just so we can prep some
Sure,
stuff
yeah.
and start cleaning up and doing all that good stuff,
Okay,
but yeah.
I still think that LBA should be the lead on that and we should be a collaborator with them. For several different reasons. So I think that would be a good idea, but we can discuss it at next meeting and take a vote. Cool, okay. All right, anybody want to make a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion for adjournment.
Second. All right,
In favor?
see you all, thank you. Bye.
Do I need to stop recording?
Yes.
Yes, yeah.
It doesn't kick anyone out though when I hit.
Bye, Lou.
Bye, Lou. Thank you,
Bye,
Lou.
thank you.
We'll see you, bye.
Bye.